Hello everyone. I am Sreenivash from IIM Trichy, and today I am here to talk about externalities. The externality is a cost or benefit of an economic activity that is not reflected in the final cost, and it is generally experienced by an unrelated third party. An external cost or benefit is not reflected in the final cost of the benefit of a good or service. Therefore, economists generally view externalities as a serious problem since it can obviously differ from their original readings and affect the final costs and benefits of whatever they have imagined. Generally, externalities make markets inefficient since it's tough to predict what is going to come as a result of externalities, leading to market failures. The externalities are one of the main catalysts of that lead to the tragedy of the commons. For example, the primary cause of externalities poorly defined property rights. For example, the ambiguous ownership of certain things may create a situation where some market agents start to consume or produce more while the part of a cost or benefit is inherited or received by an unrelated third party. For example, suppose we use coal to produce a product. It affects the entire world indirectly in the form of acid rain pollution, etc. This is a classic case of negative externality. Speaking about negative and positive externality, those are the two types of externality. A negative externality is a negative consequence of an economic activity generally experienced by an unrelated third party. The majority of the externalities present in the world are negative. Some negative externalities, such as different kinds of pollution, are especially harmful since they have adverse effects on the lives of human beings. Some of the negative externalities are air, water, and noise pollution, which are generally the side effects of a mass produced item, uh, such as the burning of fossil fuels to produce goods or oil spills that consume various life creatures in the ocean, which leads to a tragic loss of life and as well as spoiling the ecosystem of that particular area. And noise pollution generally affects the people living near a large airport and suffer from high noise levels as well. Some kinds of negative consumption externalities or passive smoking, for example, where as we all know, whether it's a myth or not, a person who is more affected than the smoker itself is the passive smoker, who just stands or moves near the smoker and absorbs some of the smoke coming from the cigarettes, as well as traffic congestions, in which the more the people use cars on road, the heavier the traffic congestions becomes. There are also some positive externalities that benefit the economy in a good way, though they are pretty rare. For example, R&D activities from a company uh, usually discovers a new technology which creates benefits to whole societies, which is obviously one of the positive externality, as well as infrastructure development. For example, if you build a subway station in a remote neighborhood, it may benefit the real estate agents who transact properties in those areas. For example, recently in my hometown in Madurai, there was the announcement that there is going to be an AIMS hospital that is going to be coming nearby. It obviously helped boost the real estate fortunes in the nearby area. And this is some of the positive externalities that might arise. Some other consumption external positive externalities are individual education, where increased level of individual education obviously increases economic productivity and reduce unemployment. As well as one of the recent examples we could say is the vaccination drives. It all, not only benefits the person vaccinated but also the persons closer to him in the community who might not get the disease that could easily be spread from one person to another. So actually, these are the positive and negative externalities. Some of the solutions for reducing this negative or sorry, the externalities would be defining property rights. And for example, government might also create a strict definition of property rights that can influence the limit of economic activities on unrelated parties. Also, they may create taxes and subsidies for negative and positive uh, externalities similarly, so that the companies might be discouraged to impose costs on unrelated parties in the terms of negative externality, And also subsidies could be given to stimulate certain activities such as consumption of goods with positive externalities. These are some of the measures that the government could take. And India, especially since we are a developing nation, growth is the ultimate aim of all the companies, and we have been growing for a long time. And due to this, our environment has suffered a lot. For example, India was one of the uh, richest countries in terms of not only the number of trees and rich ecosystems present, but most of them are gone due to high level of lumbers, timber taken and lumberjacking and etc. So these methods could be stricter actions could be taken against these measures in the future, so that negative externalities in the terms of environment could be hampered. These are some of the solutions that I think the Indian government could take, giving a proper definition of property rights, as well as imposing taxes on negative externalities and subsidies on positive externalities. And that's it. Thank you.